We switching it up today. So, welcome to Wally Financial 101. What a great day to elevate. So today we're going to be talking about ownership. How do you get to where you can retire early, you're debt free, and your finances are all in arrangement to where you don't got to stress about it? Ownership. When I talk about ownership, I really mean like having your name on something without having to use your name. So obviously, if you don't have a business, you use your social security number. That's how the government track you, and that's how they tax you. But if you don't like using your personal social security number, you can always take the route of obtaining an EIN number, which in most cases, you can get an EIN number through getting an LLC. But you don't always necessarily have to go establish an LLC to get an EIN number. You can go to the bank and have them open an EIN number for you. But when you start doing anything that brings you money, usually you want to get an LLC for protection. That's what LLCs are for, protection. So you can get liability insurance. So if anybody tries to sue you for any work you do for them, you're covered. You always want to be covered. So ownership. One big thing about ownership, when you own stuff, you now put yourself in a position to contribute to your community. Charity. You don't always have to donate to charities that's already established. You can always go establish your own charity and give to where you want to give to. I don't know if y'all know the rule of giving, but when you give back to people, when you give to charity, when you give to help someone want nothing in return, for every dollar you give out to the world, you should profit another $1.60. So honestly, giving to charity and giving to help people with good karma should come back and give back to you. So when you have one business, you're kind of in a situation where you don't want to give up too much of your money because you need to pay for expenses, living, business material, all that, etc. So when you have multiple sources of revenue, you can delegate smaller amounts from each one. So let's say you have 7 sources of revenue. You can donate about up to 5% from each LLC, and that'll total up to about 35% of charity that you're giving back, which in return should give you 70% of profit in your journey of still doing what you're doing to uplift your community. When you're talking about all these things with ownership, it's really a process to owning something. You can't just own something. Like, we don't live in that day and age no more. Like, everything has a price nowadays. So when you're starting your process of trying to own something, you always want to write things down because it's easy to forget something. So whenever you have a good idea, within those first 5 seconds, you want to write it down so that you don't forget it. Because after the first 5 seconds of you thinking of something, it's easy to forget it if you don't act on it within those first 5 seconds. Why am I smoking a blunt? They say you think better when you elevate it. So I'm trying to elevate my higher thinking. Step 2, you want to set tiny tasks that add up to your goals. Because sometimes you'll set a goal that you think is manageable, but let's say you have a bad week and you don't even hit that goal that you feel is manageable. You're now stressed, you're now depressed, you're now like trying to figure out where to make what you didn't make. So now you're in rush mode. You don't ever want to be in rush mode. You want to plan multiple tasks. You want to plan multiple tasks in an orderly manner. Orderly manner? That means like instead of having one task, which is like for some people they're 8-hour shift at a job, they know they're making $150 with taxes taken out. You can if you work for yourself and you're self-employed and have your own businesses, you delegate your time. So let's say you do this task for 2 hours, you got this task for 3 hours, you got that task for 4 hours. All these tasks add up to what my overall day goal is. So I don't just have one goal in a day, I have multiple tasks that accomplish my goal. So every time you achieve a task, you feel uplifted, you feel great about yourself because you just accomplished what you planned to do. So you always want to Start tiny, build small to medium to large. But we think small, but even when you don't hit small, now you're even more mad because you set a small goal. Start tiny. Tiny, something you know you can do. And then by you doing multiple things, you just hit all your goals in a day. Give room for error. You might wake up some days where you want to do nothing. And now you had a whole day planned for that day, but you don't want to do nothing. So now you're kind of in a mix. Plan for error. Plan to have off days. Plan to have days you don't want to work. Plan to have days something pop up. Plan to have days a client cancels on you right before the appointment. When you're creating your budget, you want to budget with gap room. When you get a car, you like gap insurance, right? Exactly, you want your car to be covered. You want your car to get accident, you have access to get a car rental so you're not stuck. Budget with gap room. Budget so you have room to, if you run out of spending, you don't have to do it in your savings. You have a little emergency fund. Minimize your expenses. All right, babe. Some examples of minimizing your expenses. A lot of people like to eat fast food or go out and eat out at restaurants. Let's say you like, I want to go to Jack in the Box, or I want to go to Freddy's, or I want to go to In-N-Out. 10 times out of 10, you can make exactly what they have there at home. So cooking at home will save hella expenses. People love to have multiple streaming services. You don't need multiple streaming services. You can do YouTube 1 month, Hulu the next month, Netflix the month after that. You don't have to do all of them in 1 month, because at that point you're paying $50 a month when you can just be paying $10 a month, but still be using all of them, because a lot of these services offer a month free trial. 7, separating your wants and your needs. Because when budgeting, you want to prioritize your needs, then delegate the remaining funds to your wants. When doing this budgeting, you don't want to double dip. Double dip, I mean, you don't want to put money towards your savings and then run out of spending money and then dip into your savings to spend. That's double dipping. That causes you to reset. Like, you get in the habit of saying, okay, I'm gonna take 50 out and just I'm gonna put 50 back. I'm like, no, you have to reset all over again, because now numbers are gonna start getting messed up. Multiple sources of revenues. Like I said, having you 7, 6, 5 sources of income and not just depending on one income. Like when you have multiple sources of income, that opens your flexibility. Once you get into the habit of having a steady hourly pay, learn how to combine your hourly pay with a commission job. Because when you're making commission pay and making your consistent hourly, that's when you're above it all. That's when you have time to travel, time to spend with family, time to give to your kids and your spouse. At this point, you want to then make your money an employee. I feel like some people ask, what do you mean make your money an employee? Employees don't bring 5-10% to the table. Like, I feel like an employee is you're paying him to put in some effort. So like for me, effort is 20+%. At that point, you're an employee. Your money making 20+% compound interest. At that point, your money has become an employee for you. You are the employer. Your money is working for you. Learn how compound interest works. Because like I said, when you know how compound interest works, that's when you now know to gain the money from your job, your business. Don't spend that money. Take that money and put it somewhere that it can grow at the highest interest, to where now it's working as an employee for you. And when that money makes money, you can spend that money. But now you have money working for you. So now that the money that you are now making is just investing still more, making more money. And that is when now you create a spending pool. Me, I just finished listening to Mastering Your Emotions. That is a book I recommend people listen to. If you're not a big reader, I like listening to audiobooks. You can buy the audiobook. I think it's like $15 by Theobald Maurice. Like, I feel like that'll help people open their mind to see that a lot of decisions that people make are based off emotion. When people learn to master their emotion, I feel like they can then make better choices moving forward. And after listening or reading that book, you will now be in a position to start applying. You will not see results unless you apply the pressure. So when you do all these steps and you get to that point where you understand compound interest, you've listened to mastering your emotions, you're now going to be in a position to start applying. And I'm a licensed professional, and that's why I've started this channel, Financial 101, because I am partnered with, what are they, like 15 to 20 plus AAA Fortune financial companies. Like just joined this company, got my life insurance license, learned that I can help people delegate their money to these accounts with just my life insurance license. I don't need my broker's license. I don't need my series. Just having my life insurance, because life insurance is connected to a lot of these accounts, I can provide the application process to people wanting to start to apply the pressure to now turn your money into an employee. So ownership. And that's what today was about. Wanting to get y'all to start thinking more and wanting to have a piece of ownership in everything that you're doing in life. So thanks for tuning in to Wally's Financial 101. I'll drop the link to that book in the comments and hope you elevate today.